Hi, this is Dr. Ahadian. Wanted to discuss the situation with regard to homosexual conflicts and the problems with regard to intensifying fear and paranoia, exacerbating in situations with our lives, and how we have to deal to decrease this kind of conflicts and problems. First of all, as far as homosexuality and heterosexuality, the research and knowledge of present day, as far as I'm concerned and my knowledge goes, is as such that biological genetic preconditions are at work, which means it is a understood condition that homosexuality and heterosexuality is based on a genetic precondition and biological aspects inherent in the human being. Not every homosexuality and heterosexuality as it is being discussed, but the ones that are being researched at present time. Now, the problem that happens with regard to a situation is specifically now related at this point I would like to discuss with conditions that a person, man or woman, does not have a identity based on his or her being understood, loved, cared for, and given to in his or her lifetime. Then, because of the isolation and problems related to socioeconomic conditions, begins to get intensified and fearful with paranoid ideation and identity confusion, which exhibits itself in fear being around men if he is a man, or fear of being around women if we are talking about a woman, and problems then related to sexual incompetence with men or women, depending of if we are dealing with a man, relationship with a woman, and having sexual incompetence, and then the paranoid ideation due to the fear of being around men in the case of a man, and the homosexual panic. How to deal with that? Well, it's a very big and guarded and loaded question. However, one of the aspects of our society at present time and symbolic representation of our identity in this day and age, 2009, with all the problems with the recession, all this stuff that's going on, could be related at this point with our productivity and success of being able to produce and being rewarded, and then our identity somehow is relying on this productivity and reward that we're getting. Now, in the cases of homosexual panic in an individual who has problems with regard to identity crisis, confusion, not knowing who he or she is, with economical stress, problems related to work, losses that's been going on, and poor support system in cases of family, father, mother not being around, not having enough ability to rely on the support system. then the identity crisis and the paranoid ideation and the homosexual panic is going to get intensified. Now, the way to deal with this, one of the ways is sitting down and analyzing to nausea, ad nauseum, as they say. Analyzing that ad nauseum as far as where we're coming from, and analytic background, and our personality structure, and therapeutic intervention, long time of going through all this is not going to be the panacea at this point. We need an infusion of identity and support. It's like one of the issues with regard to infusion of wealth and money to the weak financial system. Well, we're not going to talk about that at this point. But the issue is that this help should be taken very fast in order to have the person who's suffering from the identity crisis, from paranoid ideation, from homosexual panic, from losses that he or she is feeling with regard to relationship with men or women, especially when men or women around us are very well built and beautiful and attractive, which causes that homosexual panic to get intensified, is to find a source of getting gratified, of getting rewarded, of getting understood. And what is that? Working. Working, again, we might say, well, in this kind of situation, work is not there, and what are we talking about? How are we going to get a work in a recessionary situation? There's always work. However, we have to find first our own conditions, see how much productivity we really have. In case of somebody who's having like some kind of a job productivity, like 2 hours, 3 hours a day working. The rest of it, we're looking for something, a job that we want to go and get, that we like to have as we've had it before. However, the rest of the day, we have to do whatever we can. Gas station, checker, do anything, work in a factory to get money. Money doesn't mean that we have to win the lottery. Lottery winning is not going to help at this point for this kind of cases that I'm talking about. We need to work to be rewarded. Whatever money, as little as possible it is, no matter how much, that kind of a behavior gives us a sense of identity, reward, acceptance, support, which is like an infusion of that kind of like lack of identity that we've been going through, which is causing the homosexual panic, the paranoia, the problem with isolation and fear. And then by that, the self-esteem is going to be beginning to go to a reparative mode. And by repairing that poor self-esteem, which is crushed, which is sexual, which has exhibited itself in sexual impotence with men or women, and then fear of men and women, to get the drift about the homosexual panic. So if somebody has problems with depression and holds a man holds a woman and doesn't have any feelings, the sexual impotence there. Then if he has homosexual conflicts and identity diffusion, being afraid of being around men causes problem to get more intensified. Now if this person goes and begin to find some category of his or her his life and see how much work he can make and produce, and then the rest of the day to go and do whatever he can by shoveling, by gas station, by working in a factory, by doing anything that he gets rewarded as little as possible, doesn't matter. That reward is going to increase the self-esteem, increase the ability to deal with the current problem that he has with regard to sexual impotence and fear and paranoia that he's going through because of feeling nothing. And then with the help of antidepressant medication and all that, therapy, then go through the other phases of the problem. Especially the same thing goes for women. So basically, the issue at present time with the intensification of all the problems in society, which one of them is the homosexual panic in men and women, and problems with social and economical problems, is to work. Work, not making really big money to buy the luxurious car and house, but work to be